Ayo, if you clicked on this video, it probably means you purchased Star Ocean: The Divine Force and you want tips on how to get better at the combat or just be more overpowered. Now, I see a lot of people having trouble with some of the boss encounters in this game or just outright missing mechanics. Now, this guy is going to help you be more familiar with what you should be prioritizing when upgrading your characters, just what you should know about the combat, and better tips for exploring. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you subscribe, I will love you so much. We are almost at that 1K subscriber mark. If you enjoyed JRPG content, this is a really good place to be. And I appreciate everything, guys. Let's get into the video. Star Ocean: The Divine Force is very fast-paced, and you have this action point system, AP. It's those little lines, and you need a certain amount of them to do a certain amount of actions in battle. Some moves require only 1 bar, while others that are more powerful require 2 or even 3 bars sometimes. Being able to manage this is really important. Now, one super tip I want to give is you're going to be running a lot in this game, right? You do not want to run straight into combat because once your AP runs out, it will not go back up until you stop running. And it's really annoying to just click down on your stick to get out of the running animation. The game kind of wants you to use your robot, Duma, to sneak attack enemies. So I really suggest click down on your stick before you go into the fight, stop running, because right when you run out, you're going to come into a situation where you're dashing full speed, 0 AP, and the screen's going to go bah, 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 and you literally can't attack. The game is really fast-paced, but you do not want to run in and just mash square because you will run out of AP and it will get really frustrating. You want to kind of take it step by step and plan it out a little bit. Also, getting a bunch more AP is honestly pretty easy. It wants you to do blind sides, which are basically these special dodges with your robot Duma. Now, one other important thing is a lot of people push their sticks forward when they use Duma. They click R1, they hold their sticks forward because, you know, you want to fly forward at the enemy. But the thing is, forward actually pushes you up. Don't touch the left stick or, you know, the movement stick when you click R1 with Duma. Track your enemy, let go of it, and you're gonna fly at them. And right when the enemy's like looking at you, you wanna push the stick in a certain direction that is away from his eyes before he hits you or you get to him. And that is gonna cause a blind side. So you could fly at him and then push up on the stick right before you hit him, and then that will cause a blind side. Doing that is then going to replenish AP and you'll have like 12 AP bars and you can basically initiate combos way easier, and that gives you a little bit more leverage in the fight. Like, you become a bit more overpowered the better you do in fights. Another tip when you are in a basic fight or a mob fight is try to switch characters. And you don't have to learn them completely, but definitely learn to swap through them because the AI, first of all, is not that great. And second of all, the game encourages you to swap through your teammates. For example, Nina will not use her Duma skill to fly at a teammate and heal them up. She actually can't target enemies. She flies with the robot towards her teammate and gives you a big boost to HP. Now, the AI will almost never do that. I think they don't even do that at all, to be honest, from what I've seen. So you want to switch to her sometimes to use that ability, or if you're dying out there, you don't want to just use your character, pop a fresh sage, and stand there in that animation, you know, healing your teammate. Swap to one of your other characters you don't normally use, run your ass to the corner, and then use a fresh sage on your teammate, and then swap back to your main character. Let's say you're using Raymond, and, you know, just continue as you are fighting. That's what this new stop screen is for. They want you to grab your teammates, put them in a position that you want them in, and then initiate what items you want them to use. There's a whole bunch of items that you can use. So put them somewhere, give them a physical stimulant, a blueberry, a blackberry, whatever they're going to use, and then go back to your main character that's fighting. Now, one of the biggest things in this game is how to use skill points. There is so many things to spend your points on that it's overwhelming for most players. It was even overwhelming for myself, even though I love the deep customization. Let's start with chain combos. Basically, you edit your combos in this game to a pretty deep degree. So what you want to do is try to find a combination that you really like. A combo that you're always fine with mashing square and doing. For example, I have Bell Ringer, Quick Ripper, and Payback Time. If you look at these, they flow pretty dang good for a combo. You want to find something like that and something that's not going to drain your AP. And then what I did was I put Boulder Crush on my triangle. So what happens is, let's say I have 12 AP. I'm going to do my normal square combo like I normally would. And then when I get to the end of that, I'm going to tap triangle and use that extra finisher move. You could basically use what you want, and you don't want to just upgrade, every single ability twice. You want to pick 3 to 4 moves that you're really comfortable with and you get good at and upgrade those to like 7, 8, or 9. Because you need to learn how to stagger enemies and how to put pressure on them. And if you keep swapping through a bunch of moves, you're not going to memorize any of them. Another huge thing is passive skills. These are extremely important. Some of them will literally give your AI a shit ton of HP back when they get hit by enemies. And another extremely important one is Letitia's skill, Determined Princess. This at max level will lower your defense and guts by 100%, but give you a 200% XP boost for your whole team. I recommend using this every time you are not in a boss battle. And if you're gutsy, use it in a boss battle. This will keep you over leveled and pretty much set for the entirety of the game. Don't be scared of it. It is not like turning it to hard mode. It is like halfway below that, and it's not too scary. I also want to mention the stat Guts. A lot of people don't know what this means. Guts basically means how many status ailments you can inflict on enemies and how many ailments they can inflict on you. That's all it does. Another huge thing is don't just work on your skill tree. Everyone wants to just go to their skill tree and get that filled before they upgrade anything else because it looks the coolest. It's got the little nodes on it. It's all pretty. It makes a cool sound when you upgrade it. Skill trees are what everyone wants to upgrade. Please focus on upgrading the moves that are in your chain combos and on the side as your skill tree. Like, you could upgrade your skill tree, but just focus on some passive skills and chain combos as well. Pick what type of stuff you like to do in combat and really max those things. Another really cool thing about this game is you could put potions or any item inside your chain combos. This means, for example, I put blueberries on my hold circle. So anytime when I'm fighting, I could just hold down circle and I'll pop a blueberry. And the animation is like a quarter of the speed of how you normally would with the stop menu. It's super fast. So I totally recommend going into every single teammate that is in your party and putting blueberries, a physical stimulant, whatever healing or item you want, and match it to some button to where you could use it in combat without having to stop your game. Make sure to keep your weapons and armor up to date. It's really important in this game for keeping your damage and defense up. It's just the stats on the skill tree are not going to keep you overpowered. And then at the same time, you're going to have a lot of these sacrificial bunnies. These are really important because they'll just keep you alive if you die. You have a whole bunch of these throughout the game. Just put them on your AI a whole bunch of times and they'll just waste them. But that's good because it'll keep them alive during boss fights, and it could save your ass at the end of the day. And you have a whole bunch, so you might as well just dump them on all your teammates. Now, one important tip for crafting and getting a bunch of good items and all this stuff, you want to go back to Delric Village in the beginning of the game after you talk to the new character, Welsh. You've talked to her pretty early, and some people don't go back and ever go to the building at the top that had that weird pointing hand. That building is where she goes after you talk to her, and she gives you the ability to craft. Please do this. It is a vital mechanic throughout the whole game and helps with a whole host of mechanics. Now, that is pretty much it. That will keep you pretty satisfied through the game with your team. Another thing is, if you get to a boss fight and you just get stuck, put on that ability for Letitia that gives you more XP if you weren't using it anyways, and run through the previous area a couple times. A couple boosts to your abilities will help you in the boss battle that you're stuck on. It is really easy to get your levels up and get equal, but remember, you have a perfect dodge that replenishes your Duma, and then that has a blind side that replenishes your AP. You have a lot of tools at your disposal that you kind of just need to practice. Stare at the enemies and just practice your perfect dodging over and over. Doing that is going to give you damn near infinite blind sides to use, and make sure to swap through your characters and kind of find a chain combo you enjoy. Don't just upgrade one of every single thing you unlock. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide, and hopefully it helps you. I really hope this helps any Star Ocean fans or new fans coming in at the game who just want to get a little more overpowered or having trouble, with the combat or exploring. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the Star Ocean!